Okay, welcome back, family. Welcome back, friends. My name is Ray Keller, the owner of IndependentIslandLifeInsurance.com, where everyone can find the least expensive life insurance possible because I have access to literally every carrier in all 50 states. You can find me at IndependentIslandLifeInsurance.com, as you see here at the top. You can also find me at Independent Island Life Insurance on Facebook. Just type the name in. Today I want to cover the number one mistake people make when buying life insurance, and it's called falling for the bait and switch. So what does the bait and switch look like? Have any of you received something in the mail, an envelope from your bank or your credit union saying something along the lines like, as our customer here at such and such bank, you have the special privilege of this special rate of life insurance through whichever carrier, Prudential or Lincoln Financial or something like that. If you've ever seen those from your bank or credit union in the mail that says you have a special offer, that is a perfect example of the bait and switch. Or another example is on social media. For less than a cup of coffee, you can get $500,000 policy for your family. Or for $1 a day, get a half a million or more policy for your family. These are all called bait and switch. So let me show you kind of how those work. Let's view this slideshow here real quick. Bait and switch. So they have a hook, three-pronged hook here, just like you would go fishing with. And the bait, what's the bait? It's a sale. They offer you something that seems really cheap or discounted, almost free. It just seems too good to be true. So how does this work? Your bank sends you that thing in the mail. Hey, thanks for being a client, a customer here, at Mountain America Credit Union, for example. As a qualified member of the bank or credit union, you get access to these least expensive options possible. It kind of sounds similar to what I say, now that I say this out loud. But I do something very different here. So the bait equals this least expensive quote possible. That's the bait that they send you. That's the hook. Oh, that's an amazing rate. If I can get that for my family, that'd be wonderful. So you go ahead and bite on that hook. And then what happens? So now you have this quote. You've said, I want a policy with you. You call them or fill out the form or the card. There's lots of ways to show them that you're interested. And then what they tell you is, oh, okay, you want that policy. Yeah, let's fill out an application. So you fill out the application. They turn the application into their underwriting team. They're the guys who comb through it with a fine-tooth comb, look at all your medical history, just see just all your medical issues and conditions. They look a lot closer. Look at these things in great detail. This is after the quote, after you filled out the application. And that decision maker, that underwriter says, "Oh, okay, they don't get the $30 a month plan. They don't get half a million for just $30. They have to pay 150." So they tell your agent this, and your agent comes back and says, "Oh, family member, friend, that policy we applied for. Good news is you got approved. Got you approved. Bad news is it's not $30 a month for $500,000 because of your height and your weight and all of this. You have to pay 150 a month for $500,000." And you're like, "What?" You're just shocked. That's the bait and switch. They bait you with the low quote, the cheap quote, and then once the actual cost comes out, you see that you're paying quite a bit more. So let's get out of that slideshow now. Now, what I do here at Independent Island Life Insurance is if you ever go to this free quotes tab, you'll see here where it says you came for the least expensive quotes possible. In order to deliver on that promise, I need as much of the info below as possible. So I'm doing the exact opposite. I get the same info, name, email, but I go a little bit further. I don't just want your age, I want your date of birth, I want your height, I want your weight, if you smoke or not. This is the most important part on getting an accurate quote. Is I get your prescriptions, your meds. What are you taking? What medications are you taking? This is what they look at very carefully when they when they do that switch on the bait and switch. Once they know what medications you're taking by just going online and looking at your medication history, because that's all, you know, accessible information to the life insurance carriers. Then they know, oh, they take this medication A or medication B. Oh, they got diabetes. Oh, they have hypertension or high blood pressure. Oh, they had a stroke. They had a heart attack recently. Oh, they have cancer. Oh, they do dialysis. When they see this info here, this is when the switch takes place in the bait and switch. But in my process, it's to be as honest and upfront, as honest and as possible up front. So I get the information that's needed to give you the most accurate quote possible rather than give you the pie in the sky quote. So what I typically run into is two types of people. And this is why I know this happens. This is the biggest mistake most people make. This is why I know. Because most people that I help, when they have an existing policy, 95% of the time, I already know that they're paying double or triple what they should, or even more than what they should be paying. Because I've done this long enough and I've looked at enough existing policies to know that people are falling for this bait and switch. What really makes this bait and switch work, just so you know, is that you're getting, during this time of submitting your application after the quote and waiting, this red arrow represents the time you have to wait to get your actual costs. This time period, you are you're emotionally invested. You're excited to get this policy for your family, right? You know that you could pass away. You've seen a friend, neighbor, or family member pass away who was young, and you know it's possible. So you're getting emotionally invested in this quote that they gave you. So by the time you get your actual costs from your agent and it's significantly higher, you're so invested in this emotionally in every way, shape, and form that you'd rather just take it than leave it. So you just tell your agent, all right, just go ahead and do it. So now that's why I know. So most people I talk to, that's what they did. They got the bait, they fell for the bait, they applied, and they got their actual costs, and they said, I don't want to go through this again. I just want this policy for my family, which is good. It's good. You should pat yourself on the back that you were willing to pay such a high price for your family. But when these people come to me and we work on their policies, 95% of the time I'm able to save them somewhere between 10,000 all the way up to 50, $60,000 in premium that they get to keep and use. Why? Because I have access to the least expensive life insurance possible. I have access to all the carriers, not just a few, but every single one of them. And so I wanted to also throw in just a little bonus here. Don't fall. There's bonus. We'll call it a bonus. I only wanted to cover the bait and switch scheme that's out there, so you guys understand how that works. But the bonus today is this: that again, I've been doing this so long. Many agents have tried to beat me and undercut my rates, and it's just not possible. So first, take my word for that. Even if you just give me a little bit of trust, I'll earn the rest of it later. But this is the bonus here. If anyone that's even come close or that was able to beat my rates, they did it in a shady manner. And I'm going to explain how this is really quick. What they did is there's a policy out there called an annual, let's actually bring it up here so we can see it. Annual renewable term. When you look at this policy, this is what they use to undercut an agent like myself. Let's just go to this one. This might explain it. Annual renewable term is a form of term life insurance which offers a guarantee of future insurability for a set number of years. During the stated period, that's the important part, the policyholder will be able to renew each year without reapplying or taking another medical exam to reaffirm eligibility. The design of an ARP policy is to cover short-term insurance needs. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. So this is the only way that agents have ever been able to quote a policy less expensive than the options that I have, is by using an annual renewable term. But what happens is on year 5 of that policy, those policies are not set in stone. They adjust upward. They go up, and they go up by a lot. I have one example here. I had a family member I was helping with a policy, and they were able to save themselves a few dollars with this annual renewable term. that was a little less expensive than mine, and so on its face it looked better. So when we actually looked at the paperwork together, I was able to show them that the annual renewable term adjusted up drastically on year 5 and swallowed all of the savings that she had been able to save herself for the first 5 years was gone in month 1. Year 5, month 1, all of it was gone. So that those types of policies, these annual renewable terms, force the customer to quit. It's just a way to undercut an agent like myself who actually has access to the least expensive level policies that never change. It's a way for an agent to come in and pretend like they're giving them a better rate, but really it's much worse because on year 5 they're surely going to quit because it jumps up drastically a lot. So anyway, that's your bonus tip of the day. Hopefully this helps one of you out. If you have an existing policy already, 95% of the time you're overpaying. You're paying a lot. You're overpaying by a lot. So that's the perfect type of situation to save yourself a lot of money that you can now spend on other more important things. So thanks for joining me again. We'll see you on the next one.